Creeper who can't find weavers that don't move. Alright, how to run this game. Step 1. Delete your campaign save file. It's the hardest trick there is. Start your time here, which I'm not gonna do. But you should do it.
This is Basilisk. Hello. This is Basilisk to KASMA Module 13. We are sending 2 classified pieces of technology we recovered from TranStar's moon base.
Step number 2. Wait for a minute and a half for this door to open. Do whatever you want. Play some basketball.
It's a simulation of all the research data,
some dunks
company secrets, and connectomes from
Dunkaroos.
employee brains.
Waterboard this mimic. No, you can do that too.
Fortunately, it comes with a looking glass visor, so you'll be able to search the scene visually. You'll be plugging into the moon base as it was, seeing it through the personnel that was stationed there. There's a lot to do. I'm sending your orders along so you can check them off as you go. Oh, and congratulations. I am pleased to inform you that executing these orders will fulfill your contract.
Get this little spot.
After you recover the data, we're going to pick you up. So great news.
The doll's on a mimic yet? I beg to differ. I think it is. It's always a mimic. Okay.
Okay, M13, you're the expert. The delivery is docking now, so I'll leave you to it.
You just want to wait by this door, and then you're going to throw the objects. The visor to the chair. Operator to the stand. And you're just going to run over to the chair and use it. And spam enter. Super simple. And you just spam through here. You want to make sure when you pick up those things to throw them that you kind of take a step back before you turn around, otherwise you'll hit the door frame. Spam through this. Couple kind of important things when you first go in here. Very small things, but...
Attention, all Pythia's crew members.
So to open this door, you need the key from here, and you do need 10 fabrication plans at some point, but you don't want to pick up this fabrication plan yet, because if you pick up the pistol fabrication plan at this point, or you find one later on in this route, you'll have to bring it in on the next time through the simulation, which is a waste of time. So you'll pick it up with a later character. That way, when you need a pistol, you'll get it the time before. So you just pick up the first 3. And open the door and lock it, so you keep the mimics in there. You can kill that one if needed. And there's a couple ways to do this. The way I do it is just aim about there. This changes with FOV, but you just want to be back. Get stuck up there. Pretty easy. You just get it up here. Then when you go to place this, sneak into it so that you're kind of clipped in, and then stand still and just spam jump, and you should clip out. Hey, look at that. Then when you're out here, there is a way to drop down over here with VJ. I'll do in a minute, but you want to look for this little pointy bit. And just go right there. We're gonna need to do a slide. So we're gonna drop down here. This one's a little hard setup I came up with. You want to find this dimple on the moon. You know, there's a lot that look like it, but you want this one. So you're gonna stand about here. Look at this dimple a little to the right so that your circle is touching it and it looks like an 8. Then you're gonna run, and once you get to this point, you're gonna slide and unslide afterwards. This part goes a little fast, so you're gonna uncrouch there and not clip in. That's bad, that's a reset. Showing you what not to do. So we'll have to clip out again. Yeah. So the setup works in that it'll throw you past the escape pods close to Pythias, but every now and then you bounce off of something there. You don't always fly through. Sometimes you can salvage it and just keep running, but generally at this point you just reset. Oh, don't do that. Continue. Am I sure you're the one that needs the tutorial? Yes. Considering you have a 225 that you can't beat, I think you need it. Running on the latest version? Yes. This is 1.08, I think is the latest patch. So once again, just pick up the first 3. Just a little faster this time.
If you are unable to reach an escape pod, security will track your position as they conduct a final sweep before launching.
Find the little pointy edge. Drop down. So generally if you run off the furthest part here and then like drop straight down, you'll find that little dimple I was talking about. So that's the one you need to look at. This is the one. Yeah. Crouch, which could be bad, but you want to land about here. If you land anywhere sooner, just run in this direction until you get about here. And then you want to head this way underneath the giant pyramid. You want to be careful of the white bar, which is your stamina. You want to slide pretty much as possible here, so that you don't run out of it by the time you get into Pythias. Then you want to go off this little edge. Just want to run straight off of it and hold forward. You should land here. If you land underneath it, that's fine too. Actually, it might be better. I've been thinking this for a while. You can just jump here and grab it. You watch my runs currently. So I can get back up there. Should be able to vault. There we go. You go up this way. You can just sneak in through this wall and jump over. Either way works. I think going under might be like a second faster if you can do it right. So you just hold forward. Pretty much anytime you spawn in, you just want to hold forward and sprint. So we're going to jump up through this window. You can jump up through either one. I usually go on the left, just because, once again, just keep in mind your stamina. You want to do this for the whole run, but at least for this part, make sure you don't run out before you get in the elevator, because we'll bring it back up. So you want to unlock the door, check this. Basically just looking for a med kit there this time around. You can lock this door. I usually do. Fire checking. Alright, so there's 2 bodies we need to find here. One's crew ANNEX. You go all the way down to VJ. And right here you can see where he is. You can also click on it if you want it to pop up and give you a marker. So I'll go over the 12 spawns of VJ. We'll go to crew ANNEX, MOONWORKS, and then we'll come back here. I'll point them all out. So that's anything in Pythias Labs is a great spawn for VJ. Angela can have some bad spawns here, but so you're gonna go to MOONWORKS, and then Angela's gonna be here as well. So those are stupid lucky spawns. Okay, so she can be in either Pythias Labs or MOONWORKS. 4 spawns for each, so she has 8. VJ can be in any of the 3, and there's 4 spawns in each. So there's 96 combinations. It's pretty good. So typically at this point, I'll just come up here and grab Riley. There is a few exceptions to this. If Angela's in the vent, which I'll get to in a second, next to the office down there, I'll grab her first. Especially only if VJ's down below in Pythias Labs. If he's past the tram station, I'll get her on the way back. Little routing things you can do, but you kind of just have to figure that stuff out. So you want to check here. You can get a chipset and a fabrication plan out of that. You can also get chipsets. These neuromods are hard spawns. You'll always get through here. And you want to check this briefcase for more. Also, the amount of luck in this. 2 EMP fabrication plans, that's stupid lucky. So you want to come up here. You didn't search for all crew members. So you get the 5 characters. You get 1 here with Riley. That's why we come up to get her. There's also a chipset possibility on this desk. You can slide down the stairs to avoid damage. Okay, so from here, going over the spawns, you can have VJ in this vent. Once again, depending on where they are, it kind of changes the routing, so he'll be right here. He can also be down in this bathroom. He can be right here. That's 2 of the Pythia spawns. The other 2 are down below. So this is one of Angela's spawns. We'll get to this later, but she can be right here. We'll go to... I guess we'll do MOONWORKS first. So you should never have to worry about the tram being down here. It's just not really a possibility this early on in the game. You can kill these mimics. My stamina is usually too low to deal with them, so I just try to avoid them. All right. So MOONWORKS will look for the 8 spawns, 4 for each. Like I said, CrewWorks will only have, or Crew ANNEX will only have 1 of them.
Attention, everyone.
So a couple things to note, look out for these green chests. They'll have medkits, and later on anti-rads in them. I'm just going to take that because I need health.
So let's all do our best.
So this is another med spawn, which I'll point out later. I like to grab this chipset back here.
As we found it. Thank you.
It's not always there, but sometimes it can be. So VJ can be right here, which is another really good spawn if you have to come in the MOONWORKS. Anything besides that, it's kind of a reset, at least for me in an optimized run. So Angela can be right here. It's a good Angela spawn. Angela can also be... Get around this without dying. Angela can also be right there in the pit. So you can check this. Gold chests and briefcases are great for fabrication plans and chipsets. But you need 10 of each. Okay. So we can also have Angela's body right here on this bloodstain. This is gonna be sketchy. Okay. So one of the worst VJ spawns you can get is the skate pod bay.
Warning. Vital signs critical.
Mainly because you need to find a key card for it. So that body right there can have the key card. I need to get some health. Okay. And if it's not on that body, I'm pretty sure it's always on this one. It's on one of the 2. Like I said, I'm pretty sure every time. As far as I'm aware. Yeah, and then VJ will be right here on this bloodstain. Now, I never really realized that there's bloodstains on the markers. Okay. Go find the other ones. Ooh. Phantoms are a pain. So is that... Okay, I remember where spawn was. There's a couple different ways you can get to this, but this is where VJ can be. And also go across this little bridge right here. Which is generally how I do it when I'm coming into this area. Because you can jump across here and get up. Angela's body can also be right here on this bloodstain. So you come across, you have to find Angela right there, hop up, check this briefcase. And then run across here to there. So that is the 4 Angela spawn. Wait, I had mentioned 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, okay. And then VJ on. Maybe VJ only has 3 here. Oh, okay, 4. I forgot I did the escape pod one. That's so rare that I don't even count it. So his other spawn and his last one is right up here, where this bloodstain is. Generally, if you get Angela in Moonworks, you'll leave her for VJ's playthrough. Unless you happen to get VJ here as well, in which case, like I said, you can kind of route around it. Like if Angela's on that side by the escape pod and VJ's over here, you just grab VJ and leave. It's not really worth running around with Andreas. Also, if you can, always grab VJ before finding Angela. She'll have the propulsion system and she'll be able to move faster. What's with the reticle appearing on some enemies? What do you mean? Alright, so let's go to Crew Annex, which is a little more peaceful. Crew Annex has a lot safer spawns, I'd say, for VJ. So he has a really, really, really nice one. Just looking for some health. He can be right here.
On level 2.
So it's super easy in and out. So the other 2 are downstairs, but there's one way up here. Isn't too bad of a spawn, but it can be kind of annoying. Go up the elevator, and then he will be right here on this bloodstain. Just grab him and come back down. The diagonal, right.
No Typhon detected.
So this is also one I usually reset over, so I don't remember exactly where this spawn is. He's back here somewhere. I think it can be maybe there. That might be the spawn. Or there. I think it's one of those 2. I'm not entirely sure, but you'll have the marker, so you'll figure it out. Okay, and then the last one before we go into Pythias. You'll have to come through this vent. It's really annoying to deal with these mimics. So this one's actually not too bad, although it's out of the way. You'll be able to pick up something for later on. You also get this chest here, so he can be right there. And if you do happen to get this VJ spawn, just go ahead and pick up this chip. That is a hard spawn. He'll be there 100% of the time, and you need it for later. If this door is unlocked or locked, as long as it's not broken, you can just leave out this way. If you get really lucky and that's already unlocked, and you happen to have this gate unlocked,
3,
you can just go through that way, but generally you just go through the back.
detected.
How long have I had the record? 30 minutes? Alright, let's go into Pythias. We'll finish up these spawns. There's 96 possibilities. You just kind of have to do some micro routing, which is the fun of this game. Just figure out the best way to deal with them. Okay. So I showed Angela and I showed the 2 VJs. I was here before. That guy will always have food if you want to pick it up. Just not really need it. Okay. So I'm gonna go grab VJ and Angela real quick, and then I'll show the rest. So Angela can be right here on this bloodstain. It's a really quick one to grab. But I got her in the morgue, so she's gonna be right here. You just want to pick up everything off of her body. And then my VJ is going to be back here. Just break the window and climb in. Once again, pick everything up. I'm just going to get some food. And then the last Angela spawns way over here. This is one of my least favorites to get.
Warning. No escape pods remaining. Please try another escape pod.
It's so far out of the way. She'll be right here. I don't really need that, but I'll take it. I will usually reset over that. And then let's go find the last VJ spawn, and then we'll do our escape. So no matter what spawns you get, you need to come back to pipe these slabs and come out through the basement. Just because of how the clip works here. You're not supposed to actually have access to these areas yet. We had to do that clip in the gain access. So I'm gonna go show the spawn and then show what else you need to do here. So you can be right here, VJ can. There's no blood stain, but he'll be right there. And if you get this one, assuming there's not already a Weaver in the room, it could either be a Weaver or whatever this thing is, telepath. If it's a Weaver, just scan that one and avoid it. Otherwise, you want to scan this up here. This is one way to do it. You just jump on this light pole. If you don't have a VJ there, you want to, when you're running out of pipe these slabs, climb up this stuff, boost across, and then you should be able to scan the Weaver from here. This is another quest thing later on that you can just go ahead and get out of the way. So once you have at least Riley and VJ and the Weaver scan, and or Angela, depending if she's in MOONWORKS or not, you want to come back out here, and then things will be a little straightforward for a little bit. Also, thank you, Ryan. It's been a grind. Happy to have it, and thank you for the bits as well. All right. This part is, it's annoying at first to learn, but it's really not too bad. So that's also why the graphics are messed up, because you're not supposed to be here yet. We're gonna go down here. Ballistic turrets. Potentially, this is just what I found to work the best. So you want to throw that stool back because you want it. You can also check in here for a fabrication plan. I like to grab the med kit, because it'll be nice if you get stuck. A good way to move with this is either to throw it and then pick it back up, because you're slowed down when you have something in your hands. Or you can just boost with it, which I kind of do a combination of. I boost and then I throw it so I can get back that. So you want to come out here and then throw your chair up there and hope it stays. Okay, and then climb this thing. I think it's just like a little barricade, and then jump over. So here's where the real fun begins. You want to bring your chair along this pipe, and then the second, like, stud, it's kind of hard to see, but there's a stud in the corner, and then there's one away from it. You want to go about here. It might work with the other ones, but this is just the best, I find. And lay your chair like that on its side. You're gonna make sure you're standing. Sometimes you'll be forced to crouch, and you can just go back here, stand up, and then jump back up here. You just want to kind of sprint into this. If you get stuck and the chair goes away, you kind of have to reset, so I'll do that in a second. If the chair is still under you, you can come in here and drop your med kit, which Even though the chair wasn't under me, it still worked. And if you see this, that means you've gotten back out of bounds and you're good. So, if you drop something and it's still, you're just stuck there, then you either reset your run or Alt F4 and come back in and go all the way down, grab your chair and come back. A couple different options there. But then just do a 180 and come back out this way. Once again, there's a couple options you can do for slides here. I come over to this rock. So when you're running to it, you'll see this big drop off. You want to come a little into it. Once again, it's kind of hard to just tell moon locations unless you just are used to finding them. So you want to come to this rock about and look for this little dimple. Because I run into this and I start sliding here. I'm also going to save and exit. If you're not comfortable with the trick, you can save and exit, which will make a save point here. And then if you mess up, you can Alt F4 to close your game, open it back up and hit continue, and you'll start here instead of the last load screen. Water running in the sink, that's risky. Yeah, you missed Record Darkness. So I just slide in this part. It's a little tricky. And then once you kind of get to the end of this slope, you want to uncrouch. Oh, I'm on the wrong part. Oh, yeah, okay. Is that it? On the moon, it's a little hard. You want to go to this one. Do what I say, not what I do. And then you're pretty much aiming to get back to this light. This will be really close. I actually might not make it. And boost it the last second and make it. Okay, sweet. Because you can save, and if you don't get it, just Alt F4 and go back in. If you land up top on the surface, you can kind of drop down easier. Just get over here and then look for this spot. This trick is really stupid. There's not really a setup for it. It's just jump around until you can vault over this. I've tried looking for stuff before, but it's just dumb. So mess around with it, try to find your own setup, and then just wait for that to close and launch. And that's 1 out of 11 characters done. So you should have done enough stuff to warrant a cutscene. I think even if you just escape naturally, you warrant a cutscene here, so you'll have to go back and wait a little bit.
Basilisk to KASMA Module 13. Copy, please. Repeating. Basilisk to KASMA Module 13. Copy, please.
Once you kind of just mess around until she's done talking.
Okay.
But once she's done talking, you want to basically have your cursor over like one of these files, like one of these texts, and you can just spam.
The corruption appears to be limited to the host operator. No externalization, so you should be fine. We've transmitted an app that should help track the simulation's instability. Please install it immediately so you're not caught unaware again. Basilisk out.
Then you'll have to click OK, which is just about underneath the bar. Oh, a little lower. So just do it enough times and you'll remember where it is. Obviously, I haven't done it. And then, yeah, you can just enter it back into the sim. So at this point, you should have Andreas, Riley, VJ, and Joanne all unlocked. Just let it get clear. So we're going to go back in with VJ. And if you found Angela, at least in the route I take, you want to bring at least 1 neuromod with you. And If you happen to find the chipset that allows for advanced propulsion, it's going to be a yellow marked one. Like this, how it's yellow. If you find that, I highly recommend bringing it. It will make VJ a lot faster. So, yeah, that's really all you need here, is just the one neuromod. You can go in. And if you don't have Angela, then you don't really need to worry about it. This will not make or break a run. It just kind of helps VJ to have faster momentum quicker. So we're going to go ahead and install our neuromod. We're going to buy conditioning, which you can, it just goes 5% faster. It's going to allow us to possibly get mobility 1 and or 2 later on. But for now, we just want conditioning. Before the world record VOD becomes available, I'm going to highlight it after this run and then export it to YouTube. So it'll probably be sometime tomorrow before I officially put it out. I mean, you can just go through my Twitch archive, look at the stream. So once you've loaded in, you want to unlock the door, and as that's happening, just go ahead and grab this fabrication plan we left behind. You can ignore the mimics here, and the stool will still be here because it's the same simulation. Go ahead and clip back out. This time, instead of going for that pointy rock, we're gonna go over here to where this little crack is. And then when you fall down, you want to hold a little left and wiggle, and then boost over to this. It's almost always faster to run than to boost in the crater. Outside of the crater, it's not, because of how slow you fall. So anytime you boost in the crater, you want to aim for a surface. So here I boost and then go over so it refills. Anywhere else, boosting is pretty much faster than walking. So once again, we're just going to follow this route until we find this giant white tunnel. And then you want to jump and slide up this. And once again, like I said, I just boost to like the closest surface so I can recharge faster. When you start coming in here, go up this slope. And right when you get to this big beam, you want to start jumping. And it should pop you through, which skips this Typhon gate. So from here, just go into MOONWORKS. So there's a couple things you need to do in VJ. One of them is the mass driver escape, which requires 5 drinks that are non-alcoholic, which are hard spawned. I'll show where those are. 5 food, which they're not really hard spawned, but you're guaranteed to find them. And 1 anti-rad, which I'll show all the spawns that I go to quickly. And if they're not there, it's kind of a reset. Otherwise, you have to start going to other areas, and it's super slow. And the other one is if you don't already have Angela, you have to route her in to what you're doing here. So just keep that in mind if you don't have her yet. So I'm going to jump up this part. Check right here. This is a medical spawn, so you can have your anti-rads in it, med kits, or gels or whatever. And then this vending machine will always have 3 drinks. So you just want to check that. If anti-rads pick it up, or if you, whatever. Grab the 3 drinks. There's going to be 2 spawns in here. Right on this bench will be a spawn. And so will this crate. If you still don't get it, you can boost across to this gap. You can check to see if there's a fabrication plan here. There usually is. This will have 3 medical items, 3 spawns, 1 on top and 2 on bottom, I think. So it can be there. And still don't have it, you can boost over here. And then you want to head out. There is a medical spawn here. I've never seen anti-rads actually pop up there, though. So I think they can, I've just never seen it. Once again, if you don't find it, just keep following the way I go. I believe there's 2 spawns here. Still don't have it. 1 more crate right here. Nope. I guess this is a good demonstration of where to look.
Gate reactivation in 3, 2...
There's not really spawns in here, but there's some good stuff. You get a chipset and a fabrication plan usually. You can grab this food if it's there. You'll find food here in a second, so you don't really need it. And then there's another chipset. If the door is open, just go through there. Not, then you have to do this kind of jump boost. So this vending machine always has 2 drinks, so I'll total up to 5. I showed the medical crate in the bathroom. And then over here, you're gonna have 5 food. So you can check the fridge. Then each of these cabinets will usually have 1 or 2. And then the cabinets up here will have like at least 1, and then maybe like an alcoholic drink. So you can always get 5 foods here. And usually, okay. So that's something else that can pop up. If you get the anti-rad fabrication plan earlier on with Andreas somehow, you can just go ahead and buy that coming in with VJ. Or, like I just got it there, I could go fabricate it, which I might have to. But there's a few other spawns I'll show off first. So you can come in here, check this crate. We didn't get it there. Like I said, I think I showed these off of Andreas, but there's another spawn right there in this cabinet. And this crate right here. If you still don't have the drinks for whatever reason, they should always be there, unless it's a future update or something. There's 2 drinks hard spawned right here as well. So you can check the chipset again, if you hadn't already come here with Andreas. Go show a couple other spawns first. I think there's always some sort of food in this chair. Not really worth coming in there for anything. Okay. Couple more spawns that are pretty quick to get to. One right here. I don't think this is a medical spawn, but there's usually something good right there. Ammo or a med kit or something. This point, it's a little rough. So if you get a trauma center, that will always have an anti-rad spawn in it. Unfortunately, it's not always open. So like this, you would need to repair it with Joanne, which we can't do. So there's an anti-rad back there. I just can't get to it, which really hurts. If you really want to get out of your way, once again, you can find the skate pod key off those 2 bodies I showed earlier. This is like last-ditch effort sort of stuff. There's a couple things you can do here. So you can come all the way back to this crate, look for it. Okay, that was weird. And then I might need to actually kill these real quick. Show this off. So in the storage closet, there can be a couple spawns as well. I think there's 2, if I'm not mistaken. But generally the key will be behind this Typhon gate up here. Because you need that body. Oh, there's also this crate I completely forgot about. So it's gonna be there too. Yeah, we're gonna have to go fabricate one. So this right here will be a medical spawn on the shelf. I think that's the only one back here. I mean, there's some other good stuff, but it's not going to be a medical item. So if you still don't have it here, and you didn't find a fabrication plan like I did, or have access to the trauma center, I just recommend resetting. Anywhere else, it's going to take too long. I think there's one spawn I didn't show, which I'll do real quick. It's back up where Angela spawns. Let me get some supplies so I can fabricate this real quick. I think anti-rads are pretty cheap in the grand scheme of things. Also, be on the lookout for neuromods as you're searching for stuff. You don't really need to go out of your way, but if you happen to find them, pick them up for sure. If you do happen to find some like I have, you can go ahead and get leverage 1, which we'll get later on. It's required for a trick. But if you also happen to find 3 like I did, you can just simply purchase leverage 1 later on, and you can just go ahead and get mobility 1. Which is going to help your movement, which is really cool. Okay, so the last spawn that I know of is back up here where Angela spawns. It'll be right here. So yeah, I still just didn't get any good luck. We'll go fabricate. So alright. I'm gonna say it's cheap. Yeah, it's just one organic. Which food do I have? I can get more food. Oh, it's not even enough. Okay. Sci-Hypo, give me some. Okay. So I gotta go get my drinks and food. Is that 5? 1, 2, 4, 5. Okay. We'll go get those drinks by the tram. Cool. So depending on where you are when you finish gathering all your supplies, that was an error mod. I'm gonna go ahead and buy my leverage. There's a couple ways to get up top, which is where the mass driver escape starts. Generally, I find myself here in the kitchen. So you're gonna jump forward and then straight boost across, which will get you here. If you're down here on the floor, you can just climb up to this window. Jump there. And jump up. Get here. If you happen to be on the other side, you come through that gate, or you're up here searching, you can just boost across here. And then just follow the stairs up.
Attention everyone. Tampering with TranStar property is strictly against company policy. This includes seemingly innocuous acts such as...
There also can be a spawn here for anti-rads, but I don't recommend waiting until... Like, if you want to absolutely risk it and come up here, you can, but generally if I don't find it below, I just reset. I don't need to worry about it. So you're going to want to climb this, jump to that, on top of the air conditioner, and then boost over to this window, and loot this body. Once you pick up that
this isn't gonna work.
transcriber, you can enter the password.
Neither of us have been under that many G's before.
I've calibrated you want to initiate that, but there's a chipset here.
Range of tolerance.
Pick that up if it does spawn.
We're not clowns in a circus cannon.
And you can
hey,
boost back.
Harry, you cannot lose your shit on me right now, okay?
Best quote in the game.
The shuttle's gone. Escape pods are effed. This is our only shot.
So to get back down,
we're gonna climb into...
at this point it doesn't really matter if you break your legs. But I drop down here and then boost over. 1, just because it's safe, and 2, because it's fast.
That's great. And that gun is going to shoot our asses home. And you're going to kiss your wife
also,
and your kids.
If you haven't already, find the gold chest here and loot it while you have a chance.
Everything is going to work out just fine. All right?
Come in here and put away your stuff.
All right. Yeah, I'm good.
Oh, one more food.
Good.
So once you put everything you need in, this will close. If it doesn't close, you've missed something. And then just wait. gotta be careful in this next simulation not to take too much time. Okay. So once you're done with the mass driver escape, you're gonna go back. Sometimes you'll get the cutscene here, other times you won't. It just depends if you've already completed your fabrication plan or chipset KASMA order. Since I've been looking around a lot, I've probably completed them. If you haven't, which is normal, you'll get this cutscene after the next character.
M13, this is Basilisk.
Here, you just wait.
Virtual deaths get you down. It looks like you're just over a quarter of the way through the orders we sent you. Don't forget to keep checking.
You don't need to do anything
you can see your orders
except
from
for
the ready
use the
room
chair.
or from within the simulation itself. Everyone here is very happy with your progress. So OC thought it appropriate to authorize some mail from home. I sent it to your workstation. Basilisk out.
Yeah, that'll get updated. You don't have to look at it. You can just wait for the chair. There we go. Alright, so at this point, we're going to want to just go ahead and reset the simulation. Because we can start going for the 5-man escape KASMA order, which is right here. Or, where is it? Oh, okay, it's up here. Escape with 5 crew members in a single run. We're going to start doing that one. And yeah, complete the fabrication plan. So, we're just going to reset. Because we won't be able to unlock Claire until we do VJ a second time. So this time we're going to go with Joanne. You're going to need a pistol, and I recommend buying 2 stacks of ammo, which is 180. Just so you have enough. And if you have extras left over, you can drop it for VJ later on. And then at this point, you should have found Angela's body. If not, that's a big problem. And you want to buy 6 neuromods. You should almost always have the money for all of this. It shouldn't really be a problem. If you found an a propulsion system, go ahead and buy it. Just buy it for every character. It's really cheap, and you should need it. You don't always have EMP charges here. If you do have them, maybe bring 1 or 2, just in case. It'd be a little helpful. I'm not. Just in case something goes wrong, I'll show the backup. I also have anti-rads, which will be helpful for VJ later. But from here, you can just go ahead and enter. If you have a propulsion system and you happen to find the propulsion chipset, buy both. It'll save you a ton of time. It's ridiculous. Usually I find one or the other. The chipset will help out VJ and Riley's playthroughs because they're the only ones that will get the propulsion system naturally. But if you find the propulsion, buy it with every character because it'll just make everyone a little bit faster. Okay, so we're gonna need the key to open the door, and then we're gonna grab the chair and throw it back up top because we're gonna want to get back out of bounds here. Yep, it's gonna fall off. There we go. Okay. So we're gonna go back to the left to this little pointy rock. Go this way. An anti-rad is back up. Yeah, for sure. I'll buy one next time when I come back in with VJ. I just don't need one now. So once again, find that little rock I was talking about and then line it up. Am I gonna hit into this? Nope, okay. So if you land on the surface, just run to the edge.
Skeletal trauma detected. Seek medical
That's beautiful.
attention.
Yeah. And if you hit off the rock or get stuck, just like I said, run this way. If you break your bones, I would recommend Alt F4ing and trying again, because it will stop you from sprinting and sliding. It doesn't really stop me telling you what to do. So I'm just gonna keep going for this. And if you have a propulsion system, it doesn't really matter because you're just gonna be boosting everywhere. So you don't really need to worry about it. So once again, drop down. Let's go under. Yo, Hanlith, it's going pretty well. I got the record earlier. Doing a little tutorial series now. Alright, so once you're in Pythias, you're gonna want to make your way to the escape mimic portal. It's very important you head there and not forget it. Yeah, the crunch is a terrible sound. If you happen to find, first of all, if you happen to get in the situation, you want to find a skeletal repair kit. You don't really need to check these, I'm just looking for a skeletal repair kit. So if there's something on the table you want, grab it. Otherwise, just come through this window, break it, and keep on heading this way. So this is exactly why I bring 2 stacks of ammo. In case something like a phantom attacks me. Just want to kill it, be done with it. So head this way. You want to come into this portal room. So at this point, you want to go ahead and buy your neuromods. You should have 6. Like I said, you should have bought 6. So you're going to buy repair 1. Piloting, which you get off of Angela's body. And then reverse engineering. If you have any extras like I do, save them. We'll drop them later for VJ. So we're just going to repair this. Also, make sure you do that, very important. You can check over here for an anti-rad spawn or medkit. And we're gonna head upstairs. You really get that sound a lot if you start jumping. So once again, unlock that. Check this. Looking for anti-rads or medkits. I'm gonna lock this just because I need a second. So we're gonna come in here and check the escape pod status. And this will tell you where you need to escape with Claire later on. So I had MOONWORKS. Pythias Labs is by far the best. It's about 1.5 minutes faster. Crater is a little faster. Oh, no, mic's not muted. It's all mute in stream. Yeah. What? It's not locked? What?
Vital signs critical.
Okay. Is it just because of the body? Crater's not too bad, but MOONWORKS and Crater just slower. So we'll keep that in mind. So from here, you want to avoid death. If you have enough health to avoid this tentacle, just go ahead and open that vent door. I'm gonna play it safe, and I'm gonna go through this vent. So we want to pick up this control module. So I don't know the percentage for the for this happening, but every now and then one of these modules will be out, and you want to throw that module in here, and you'll want to pick up a backup later on. We do need the module for something later, but if that's out, put it in there, and I'll show the backup here in a second. Why is crew ANNEX down? Really? It's gonna... Okay, that's really obnoxious. So if it's not down, take this to crew ANNEX. We're gonna have to make some magic happen. I've never seen that the entire time I've run this game. Sick. Yeah. This is hot. Okay. Yeah, we can make this work. It's just, it's gonna be kind of a slow run. Got any food? I already ate it. Okay. Don't kill me. I think this is a hard spawn, this module over here. So if you have to come the way I do, you can grab that. I wouldn't recommend it. It's not really worthwhile. I'll show where the other one is anyways. Okay.
Warning. Lethal radiation levels detected.
You guys don't love that sound? It's so good. Alright. Yeah, we're gonna have to haul ass for this. Generally, you don't want to take too long with any of these characters because once you get to Claire and you have to go back to hack the portal, whatever the corruption level is the level of hacking or repairing you need. So if she's hacking 3, you're going to need to find an extra 6 neuromods, which is pretty tough. Make our way to career ANNEX.
Gate reactivation. 3.
Once again, that's why I bring a pistol, just so nothing messes with me.
Warning. Vital signs critical.
There's a medical kit up there. Like a crate. Come on, repair kit. I mean, I'll take that, that's good. It's not exactly what I want. Sometimes this will have a propulsion system on it. This body. Take a neuromod though. Okay.
Harvesting.
At this point, I shouldn't have to worry about Moonshark, because I haven't hit the trigger to spawn him in yet, which is in that tunnel, way over there. So it should be okay. So I'm gonna do this out of, just assuming like there's something blocking this. If you have to do this, you want to drop the module, blow it up, which will EMP the gate, and you can sneak through. So, once again, if you have to use your module for either getting into here or for the tram, I'll show where the backup is. If not, I don't know how to explain it. Normally, 99% of the time you'll be coming off the tram here, and you'll run up. This is the first time I've ever seen this happening here, so kind of hard to route around it. It's the beauty of this run. Whoop, that's scary. So back in this room, is where control module is.
Warning. Vital signs critical.
Watch out for mimics following you here. That'll be pretty likely. There's also usually mimics in here, which will follow you through this panel, like maintenance access. So just be cautious of things behind you. Okay. And if you see a gold chest, loot it. So yeah, if you didn't get the VJ spawn here earlier, and you have to get an extra control module because you've used yours for whatever reason, go ahead and pick up the escape pod chip here that we got earlier. If you don't, then we'll get it with VJ on the next time through, but that's where your module is. Once again, if that door's open, just go that way. But I gotta go back this way, because it's not open. If I'd happened to have more spare parts, I could repair that door, but I didn't think to look for any, so. Looking for skeletal repair kit. Ooh. So if you don't know what these are, I guess you haven't played through Mooncrash, but it's gonna reset your corruption a little bit. Also, I found anti-rads, so that's cool. I would not recommend, I mean, I guess you can look in there for anti-rads. Just generally it's going to be out of the way. You almost never come down here with Joanne. So if you're coming from the tram station, just come through the tram, follow this down. Keep an eye out on what this is. So once again, Trauma Center will always have an anti-rad in it. If you have the spare parts and it's broken, repair it. I guess you can keep an eye out for spare parts. I usually don't have spare parts here, even if it's a trauma center. So it's just kind of, if you have it, you can do it. Otherwise, leave it. And then we're gonna go upstairs. But if you have anything that you want to save for the next character, which is gonna be VJ, you can drop it here. So I'm gonna drop the neuromods I found and this anti-rad. And at this point, since we have reverse engineering bot, we're gonna reverse engineer with right click. Just gonna allow us to bring that in later on. Let's do all that together and then head upstairs. One of these, isn't it?
No Titan detected.
Sound's almost over. You can look at these bodies, they almost have nothing of value on them. I generally just run past them. You do want to open these two doors and then kill this mimic. This mimic's always going to be there, and then check this gold chest. You can also check these things for stuff, but I usually just check these two bodies. There's a high chance you'll find fabrication plans and chips and or neuromods. Which if you find neuromods on this part, it's almost, the only thing worth buying is electrostatic burst, which will be EMP abilities for later on. If you find a lot of them, just buy something, I guess. Otherwise, just ignore it. It's not really worthwhile. And it's not worthwhile to go and drop them back out there. So just pilot the ship out. Alright, that's crunch gone. It's a little unfortunate, but it's not a run killer. It's gonna be a long tutorial. It's 3 out of 11 characters. Luckily, it's just like the first 4 that take forever, and then the last 7 are pretty quick to run through. Okay. So if you didn't get the cutscene before Joanne, you'll get it after for fabrication and chipset stuff. So once again, just sit through that part and then use the chair. But we're gonna go back in at this point with VJ. So, I did find anti-rads with Joanne and dropped them, so I don't need to bring them here. I'll show what to do if you don't already have them, either as a fabrication plan or found them with Joanne. You pretty much just search all the places in MOONWORKS again. You just do it from the tram station, generally. This is kind of where things start to go a little different with the routing, but if you've bought Leverage 1, which I have, you don't need to bring any neuromods. If you haven't bought Leverage 1, buy 1 neuromod and bring it with you. Otherwise, you want to bring in 3 control modules. 2 of them are for the tram if it's down. It's not always down, and usually if it is, it's not due to the control modules, but just in case. The 3rd one acts as an EMP to get into MOONWORKS. Since I have EMPs, I'm going to take that, but like I said, if you don't have EMPs, take a 3rd control module. And the 3rd one's not always needed as well. So 3s, make sure everything's safe, but technically you don't need any. So again, if you have the chipset or propulsion system, bring it. Otherwise, just enter. after each character, it kind of becomes what have you already gotten out of the way and what do you need to set up for the next character. Which, even if you've done the run a lot, you still have to kind of think on your feet. So you want to open up your map and check which tram's down. So in this case, if Pythias Labs or Crew Annex have this red circle coming from both sides, head straight to Crew Annex, which I'll show you'll clip out and just kind of run over there. If it's MOONWORKS, you're going to run through the area normally, and then EMP the gate with the third control module or your EMP item. Go through MOONWORKS, ignore everything, just run straight through to the tram station, repair it, and take the tram over to Crew Annex. That's usually what I end up getting lately, but it's something I guess I could show off. I'm just not going to because I can't take the tram to Crew Annex. Like I said, otherwise, what we're going to do in this one is just go straight to Crew Annex. So we're going to run through, clip out. You can do a slide over here. I find lately that it's just faster to run and boost your way. Setting up the slide can lead to problems, and generally you have to deal with being on top and falling off anyway, so I recommend just running over. Then you want to jump up, and as you're getting pushed away, you'll have a moment where you can interact with the door. Just want to do that. And if you do have to end up going through the level, EMPing the gate, and into MOONWORKS to fix the tram there, I say run just straight through, because we'll get the food later on, and the drinks you'll get in Crew Annex anyways. It's only when you go all the way back, if you haven't found anti-rats then you want to start looking through MOONWORKS for that.
Good afternoon, Pythias. Last week's basketball tournament was a big success. The Lunatics took the trophy again, winning against the Craters. That makes 3 consecutive victories.
At this point still, if you haven't already been into this room to grab the escape pod chip off the table, you need to do that at some point here. Generally, if I haven't already, what I'll do, because there's a couple things you gotta do here. I'll come over here and grab these drinks. All 5 of these are hard spawns. You'll always get them. So I'll do that first, activate the memory marker, and on my way out, I'll go and grab the chip. If I have grabbed the chip off the table, generally I'll come straight for the memory marker and then grab the drinks on the way out. So I kind of did this backwards for what I've done. But either way, it doesn't take too much time. So just want to come through this access panel and then activate the memory marker. So just suffer this hangover real quick. I recommend checking the safe for chipsets and fabrication plans, and then taking ammo if there's shotguns there.
Your men are being slaughtered.
So once again, this is where I would normally go and grab the chipset, assuming I haven't already.
Typhon, it's Claire Witten. She's a KASMA spy.
So
she's been here long
once
enough
you've gotten the memory marker and or the chipset, and you've gotten the 5 drinks, you want to head up.
By now. You have to track her down. Do not let
grab
her get
any of the
off
stuff
base.
you've already
Do
dropped.
You understand?
If you've come from MOONWORKS, you can grab it on the way down, obviously. You have to run past this part, so just pick up that stuff.
I can't be distracted by this right now. Handle it, Batia. I'm counting on you.
So with VJ, you just kind of want to boost whenever you get a small amount of room in front of you. Repair the tram if needed. If you get a Pythias Labs tram outage, that's perfect because you don't have to do anything for it. Crew Annex isn't bad because it's just on the way. If you get MOONWORKS, you're just losing time. It sucks, but that's the nature of this game. You can kind of loot this trash can, some of these luggage containers. There's not a whole lot here. Sometimes the tram's already here, which is super nice, but we're just gonna go to MOONWORKS. Wait through the load screen. Okay, so from here, you can check these on the way. I recommend just waiting. You'll have some free time here in a second, assuming you do this quickly. Just run through here. Then, as you fall, you want to boost backwards, which is going to stop your legs from breaking, and it'll get you closer to here. So there's going to be 2 operators that spawn. Technically, you can leave them alone if you want to be quick about it. I generally just kill them because they're really obnoxious. It's also why I recommend looking for extra shotgun ammo in VJ's room, because sometimes you'll be low when you get here. Okay. So you can grab the fabrication plan, and then when you go to hit this button, hit it and immediately like jump back and then boost back, because it will get you past this gas and you won't get poisoned, which is kind of part of the story. So since we've bought, at this point, leverage 1, we can pick up this crate.
How's it, Officer Bhatia?
And since this door is locked until her message is over, we're going to try to clip out. I'm not too great with this still, but you want to get this crate on the top shelf here, like that. There's a couple different ways you can jump up. I do it this way, off this shelf, and then jump over. And then you want to pick up this crate. This is really obnoxious to do.
I realize you have the means to scuttle my pod.
You want to bring it kind of to this corner,
You get to decide.
and not too far in. You want to, like, on the edge of the shelf, and then just jump straight up. So get you out, climb on this, and then... So as soon as that timer starts, the door will open, and you've gone too slow. But for demonstration's sake, let's assume it hasn't. So you want to come up here and just pop up through the floor. And if you've done it fast enough, you have time to go ahead and look for your food. Once again, you already have your drinks from ANNEX, so it's not a big deal. You should also have time to check this spawn. You can look in here. I don't think there's ever anti-rads. You can check the chipset here. Medical spawn there. And medical spawn here. And at that point, you have all that taken out of the way and you get back to the tram. Make sure you wait until the timer pops up and the message is done before you leave. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure you soft lock the game. I don't know exactly what happens, but it's just, you don't want to do it. So wait until it pops up and then go back to ANNEX. That's like if you're like super fast. I find generally, even if you clip out quickly and you've checked the food and the medical supplies, you'll get there like just in time, if not a little behind. Now we're gonna boost back. We're gonna go upstairs. This elevator. And then we're going to interact with the terminal. There can be mimics up here, which are annoying. You pretty much ignore them, though. And then disable
VJ,
the remote.
don't.
And hit OK, and then go back down.
You don't owe Riley a thing. Sticking
If
around
you
like
activate
a
it,
little boy to mop
you'll
up
have
the
to
mess he made.
do some more prompt
You
inputs.
should be
So
on the
disable,
pod. Like me.
hit OK, and then run away.
What? You cross. Good boy.
So we're going to go back
You
into
made the
MOONWORKS
right
at this point.
choice, VJ.
Typically, you won't get corruption 2 here. You'll get corruption 2 later on, but going a little slow for this. I don't think it's going to be too big of a deal, though. Alright, so from this point, you should have all your food, should have all your drinks. You may or may not have your anti-rads, which in that case, you want to start looking on the other side of MOONWORKS.
Good afternoon, Pythias.
I do have them, so I'm going to show kind of the way I
I'm
go real
happy to
quick,
report
and
that
then
MOONWORKS has completed another quarter without any
go up.
serious accidents or loss of equipment.
So if you
Keep
don't
up the
have it,
good work.
I would recommend going down here, checking this spawn, and then coming up this way like you normally would for mass driver escape, and then boost across over here. Look at that, anti-rads anyways. Yeah, this is Angels. So you can check that spawn, and if you don't get it, I was gonna check that. Then I would say check that spawn right there. If you still don't have it, you can drop down for the one inside the gate, and then go back to all the ones over there. If you still don't have it, then you can check for a trauma center, and the one in the skate pod bay, but usually that's when I reset if it's not in that back corner. It's kind of the last super RNG that you have to watch out for. You find your anti-rad on VJ2, which we're on, then you're pretty much just set for the rest of the run. And you just have to deal with where power outages are. Once again, you can find this anti-rad here. Okay. This game's being nice. So once again, you just jump up here. Jump on top of the air conditioning vent. Boost in. You don't need to check the body this time. You can just go ahead and activate it. Grab the chipset if it's here. And then boost back.
Shore container is secure, and all personnel are clear of the lift zone.
Once again, I just drop down and boost over. Check the gold chest if you haven't. So I'm gonna kill this guy real quick.
Shore container is secure.
At this point, you will always have the ability to call in a companion, which you can bind. I think it usually just defaults to your right click or whatever your Typhon ability is. You can put it on 3 or silent to whatever. Let's go ahead and put in any extra neuromods. I do neuromods, control modules, and EMP stuff off VJ. Shotgun you can do if you want to. Usually I bring in a pistol anyways with the next character, so I just don't think it's worthwhile. So I'm just gonna give up those 2 things.
Render mesh signs
And then just go ahead and put on all your items. I don't think they need a shotgun, but cool. It'd be great if anti-rads were a hard spawn. I mean, I guess they are in Trauma Center, but yeah, definitely use more. So if you made it this far into the run and you found everything okay, there's really not any reason to reset other than just being bad. Unless you have a really good time and then stuff like this gate pod exit not being in Pythia slabs or power outages being in the wrong spot, that can really lose a minute or 2. But you should be able to finish a run, at least. So generally you'll also get a cutscene here. So again, if you don't get it here and you get it later, which I'm pretty sure you always get it here.
Module 13.
Then, you know,
Hello?
just
I'm very sorry
deal
you're
with it
waking
then.
up to this. I have engineering here. They say not to worry. Damage to oxygen systems is minor,
just gonna
and it is going
fly
to
up
hold
to this
longer than
vent.
you need. So gravity loss is probably the more annoying bit at the moment, but I'm told you can run a diagnostic that will recalibrate the
wait here.
stabilizers. You'll find the interface behind a hatch in the ceiling.
That'll open automatically. You won't have to click on it. So just wait.
Also, yes.
So once you get
the
here,
cause
you
was
want to hit
small
run check,
deadly impact.
okay,
Much less than a
bring that up,
centimeter. You're going to be
then
fine.
hit
Basilisk out.
13M comms diagnostics and wait for that. And have your cursor already up here, because you won't have to hit anything else. You can just hit this and hit run check again, and you'll have to hit OK.
Okay, Teddy.
So just
Well,
kind
it's
of
just
have your
a bit
cursor around
cold.
this part.
Space is cold.
Business is cold.
He signed up for this. He's a
And
hacker.
that's all you have to do for this.
Not like he picked a safe job, right? So he's
work your way
probably
back.
twice as long working for us as he would have otherwise.
Hey, you fixed
I
gravity.
suppose.
Alright. And then you can just wait here.
He has a family, yes?
You know, get back to waterboarding that mimic. It'll talk eventually.
Right. And thanks to Module 13, they're going to be fine. Which is what he wanted all along.
This is like the longest time you have to wait.
You think deep down he doesn't already know?
So yeah. Just find something to entertain yourself or go and get a drink.
You're probably right. Right.
Yo, Andy,
so
thanks, man.
You can handle this?
Pretty happy with the recce.
I'm good. You're right. Brilliant. I knew you were the right handler. Let me grab you something to eat. Turkey, double provolone? Yes, right. Okay, thanks. What is... Test.
We're still gonna talk here.
Module 13.
Waterboard the mimic one more time. And then, spam on the chair. Okay, so with VJ, we've unlocked Claire, which is the 5th character. But we're not going to take her in just yet. We're going to go in with Riley, because at this point, the power system has gone down. Thanks to that cutscene, well, potentially the power's gone down. And we're going to use Riley just to repair some stuff. So we're going to bring her in. Once again, bring a pistol. I still recommend 2 stacks of ammo. And you want to bring in 6 control modules. I think you can get away with 4, and then 2 for EMP. But I just usually bring in 6, and then if I feel like I need to, I'll bring in a couple EMPs. And then at this point, we're gonna also bring in potentially 8 neuromods if you can afford it. You really only need, I think, 6 in total, and you'll get 3 in her office. And we also left some behind with VJ. But once again, if you have enough, you can leave them for Claire and unlock her mobility 2 upgrade. So it doesn't really hurt to just go ahead and buy extra here. So I'm gonna bring in 2 EMP charges just because I'm kind of behind. And then I'm gonna buy as many as I can, which is 9, okay. Once again, if you have a propulsion system, go ahead and bring it. You do get one with Riley not too far after spawn, but you'll still save a couple seconds between the start and where you normally pick it up. If you have a chipset, also bring it in with her. Even if you don't have the propulsion from the start, like I said, you get one, so it's still saving time. Just go ahead and enter. I kind of hoped I'd get a chipset, just so I can show off how to do the movement. Generally, it's the same. You just boost everywhere. But if you're on the crater, you want to hit your crouch button or hit C. I think it might be default C, which will slam you to the ground and kind of cancel that fall damage. Or the slow fall, I should say. So once again, you want to check where the power outage is. This time it went back to ANNEX. So we're going to run through to the crater power station. Fix the power potentially there. Sometimes it's out, sometimes it's not. And then you're going to head into whichever area has the tram down. If you have a propulsion system, you can just kind of boost this way. Otherwise, you're going to have to run. Also, those extra neuromods might have to go to hack 3 at this point. Riley's quest is a little bit long, but it's not too bad. So if you don't already have it, grab the propulsion system there. And this will spawn in Moonshark for the first time, so be a little cautious of him. You can boost to this, and then boost onto this, which will kind of get Moonshark off your back. I guess you can land on that, but at this point you should be far enough away to where it won't matter. So drop down, and boost inside like that, be a little fancy. And then take a left into the power control. So if something's red, you want to go down there and fix it, otherwise just go ahead and head back out. You can check that for supplies, neuromods, I don't think anti-rats can be in there, some other stuff. So here's where if you have a Pythias Labs tram outage, you can take this route through the Pythias Labs tunnel. Sometimes this will be unblocked and you can run straight through. Otherwise, you're going to have to spend 2 neuromods to buy mimic matter. And then turn into this, which will hard spawn here. Go through that gap and you can just run through and you're fine. But we're going to go into crew annex. So that's where it's out. So if you don't have EMPs, or like charges like I do, or a disruptor gun, you can use a control module for this gate. Blow it up. And if you're wondering why the tram system's down when I just repaired it, every time you go into the cutscene, it'll re-roll the tram outage. Cutscene, I mean like the story part back on the station. It won't re-roll the power outage, as far as I'm aware, but the tram will
this is a security
go back down.
reminder. All TranStar projects
I think you can get
and
lucky at this point and it
technologies
won't go down at all,
confidential.
but I think it's almost guaranteed.
Anyone of unauthorized disclosure to outside agents
And you
or
should be on
competitors,
corruption 2 at this
please
point.
report the matter to
So even if
Officer
you've been to these
Bhatia
areas,
immediately. Thank you.
things will have respawns and or be harder. Get a little music there. So you don't need to do anything, just run through. Same if the power's down in MOONWORKS, just run straight through. If it's in Pythias Labs, you can go ahead and start doing the story stuff and then get to the tram later on. So yeah, it's not even down by control modules. So we brought a little too many, but now that it's fixed, it's going. And we do this because there's a potential that the Phantom we need to scan with Riley will be in either MOONWORKS or Crew Annex, and you don't want to... You could leave it up to chance here and just go to Pythias Labs and hope it's in MOONWORKS, but this will guarantee that you don't have to run through the crater to get to where you need to go, which is super slow. So whether you've come in through the basement or the tram system like I have, you just want to head up to Riley's office, which is where we unlocked Riley earlier on. So from basement you'd come this way. The stairs are there, you can take them. Even if they are, there's usually a nest. So I come up this way. You can skip jumping there if you just want to jump here. So once again, you can check over here for more chips, fabrication plans, hey, propulsion system, that's really good. If you need health for some reason, there's food on this table. We're gonna go into Riley's office. So you get the chipset, neuromods if you still need them, and stuff from there. So once you make it up to Riley's office, head for this operator, and you can throw it over there. There is a chipset here, but I recommend going ahead and starting utilities and then that. So that'll take a second. And at this point, you also want to go ahead and buy your Phantom Genesis 1 and 2. If you had to buy Mimic Matter in the tunnel, heading into Pythias Labs, you can do it there as well, just so it's less inventory management. And if for some reason you don't have Phantom Genesis 2, that means you didn't scan the Weaver of Andreas, and you need to go back down and do it. It will always be down in Pythias Labs, where I showed it earlier, so you can do that, but generally just do it with Andreas and get it out of the way. So you can buy these, and that's going to tell you up here in the corner where you need to go. Crew Annex. If it still doesn't pop up, just check the objective. Be here. It's Crew Annex. Try not to take fall damage. So, yeah, it's a good thing we didn't take a chance and to say, let's hope for MOONWORKS, because now we have to go back to ANNEX. I guess we'll try to show off where all the spawns are. I mean, generally you'll just have a marker that you go to. It's pretty obvious. So he's down there. I believe that means he's going to be in the diner, but point out some along the way. So you can also have a body spawn right here, which I would recommend standing about here when you go to scan them. So use your ability and then start scanning there. You wouldn't be far away because he can lock onto you and hurt quite a bit. He can also be in the fitness center over there, which I'll show in a second. This one's pretty easy. Sometimes there's a broken panel here which will kill you, but I recommend standing in this corner, just far away. Generally get the scan off before he recognizes that you're there. So if you happen to get the fitness center one, it's going to be a body right about here. So I recommend coming out to this point, and you can hit it from here and still scan. You'll be fine. You'll be safe. You also have a lot of mimics and stuff attacking you if you had to come in here.
Vital signs critical.
Whoop. That's why I don't like that spawn. It's very deadly. I don't have it's great. I think those are the 3 spawns here. I think there's only 3 spawns per area. Me, I got 6. Don't I have... Four in there. Okay, I think I can risk having to get hack 3 to show where the spawns and MOONWORKS are. So you'll have a marker, so it's not too bad, but I'll show where I generally stand if I have to go to these places. MOONWORKS has much worse spawns. Because one can be up by the mass driver escape, like where you start it. Which kind of takes forever to get to. It's a real pain in the ass. It's my least favorite spawn. So if you get really lucky for MOONWORKS, it's going to be... Body's going to be here on this part. And a very easy spot to stand is here. You can scan. Sometimes he'll walk to the left and you just kind of follow him. If he goes to the right, you can hop over and get him. But it'll keep you far enough out of range that you'll be fine. It's not too bad. We'll do the mass driver last. Let me go in here real quick, look for some med supplies. There we go. Okay. So the second spawn... This is probably the closest you have to get. So it'll spawn back here in this corner on this blood pile. Just pretty much stand by this door when you do it. That way you can just go straight back out. Like, scan it, get done.
Soil analysis in progress.
I've seen it where there's like electrified water there and you can't stand in that corner. But yeah, there's not much you can do about that. It's just one of those you got unlucky things. Look, I'm gonna die. So the last one, so it's all the way at the top. Super unfortunate if you get this. Does happen though. Not too hard. So he's going to spawn right here-ish. Somewhere in here, I don't quite remember. But you basically just come out the door, scan it, and stay this far away and get him. Like I said, it's not too bad. You just have to climb up here. And you can kind of do the slow fall down as well. Looking for some more med supplies. So if you get corruption 3 like this in your run, you're going way too slow. Let's go a little faster. Okay. So ideally you want to aim for that window. So you can kind of hop on these things and then drop down. Do something along those lines. There's food here I can grab. Yeah, I thought I left something. Okay. So no matter what, if it's in Korean X or in here, just get your scan and then head back to the tram. We're gonna go back to Python Labs. Some left neuromod in the cabinet. I mean, they're probably going for food. They're like, I have this neuromod, but I want all these cookies. So I'll put this here for later and I'll come back for it, but I'm gonna take these cookies with me. That's what I do. Okay.
Warning.
So no matter what, you'll have your scan done. At this point, you just want to climb back up, either take the stairs or go this way. So this isn't necessary, but I recommend when you go in here this time, just go ahead and lock the door. So no operator or phantom following you is going to come attack. That's just going to be annoying. There will be a phantom up here. It's a guaranteed spawn, and that's why you need to bring a pistol and some ammo. So don't go crazy and kill everything you see. If you can run past it, do it. Because you do want some ammo left over for this guy. And the slower you go, the tougher he's going to be. So Corruption 2, you'd be a little faster to kill than that. He can actually be like here on the stairs. A lot of times he's going to be back here, so you have a couple seconds when you pop up. So you just want to come over here after you've killed him. Start to scan again. You can also grab the chipset here if you want, because you're going to have some time. And then
before you launch that operator, I need you
more.
to take one last precaution.
So you can check over here for stuff. There's usually nothing you need, but you can do it if you want.
Use it. Copy yourself.
So once this is down, you can put operator there.
We can't shrink from the reality that you
go ahead and drop off your stuff. I usually just drop everything.
Something is left of our family. No one else is equipped to deal with what's coming.
Because you need some stuff for Claire.
One in the dark after this.
But you don't need a whole lot.
You won't be able to reach me. Hopefully, we'll see each other Earthside. Goodbye, cousin.
So once he's done talking, you just want to use the chair. I've had problems with this lately, where it doesn't really pop up like that. So just look around until it does pop up. And then you gotta wait through all this. Is there no way to prevent poltergeists from grabbing you? Kill them.
Starting procedure.
About the only way you can prevent it.
Personality capture and emulation. Source, Wiley Yu, Pythia's Facility Director. Target, Minerva 465, Data Vault Class Operator. Capture and transfer complete. Additional instructions found. Starting procedure, eraseu.bat. Destroying source subject.
Okay. So once again, you're probably gonna get a cutscene here. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. But I believe this is just another waiting segment. You don't really have to do anything.
Peter.
Yep.
Are you there? Look, I need to talk to you. Everything
So get up and stretch.
Module and KASMA is
Get a
locked,
drink.
so I know
It's
the
not too
channel is
long,
open,
but
and I know
you got like
what
a
you
minute or
heard.
two.
Right now, I'm the only one who knows.
You don't have to interact with anything besides the
I
chair.
need to say I'm sorry. You're not the only one who signed a penalty contract with KASMA, and many of us
Waterboard
are
the mimic
obligated
a little
to the
bit more.
company now in difficult ways. I can't paint this a different color for you.
It's not a big step up, but you just like...
If you finish what the company is asking you to do, I will personally provide you with an out. If you don't trust me, I don't blame you. But if you don't trust me now, both of us will be in the same shit. I leave it to you to decide. I have to go now.
So when she says think about your family, that's the... yeah.
For you,
it's the last thing she says.
And your family. Goodbye.
Oh, I guess she says goodbye. I'm wrong. Just wait by the chair. So depending on what you left, at this point you need at least 6 neuromods, assuming you only have corruption 2. If you got super lucky and found delay loops and you kept it corruption 1, you still kind of need 6. Because you're going to need hack 2 for clear later on. So I just recommend going ahead and doing it. But you're going to want a pistol, so you probably want to leave that. If you used a lot of ammo, go ahead and buy a little bit more. But you're going to want to buy the escape pod navigation chip. And then, once again, if you haven't already, you want 2 EMP charges. I still recommend taking 2 modules here, in case for some reason tram's gone down again. You'll always have the control modules as well, so it's just really good to bring them. Like I said, if you don't already have the neuromods and stuff, buy them here. So I'm going to need quite a bit here. And we'll get the rest from the thing. Go. Have you ever tried a no out of bounds run? I mean, the out of bounds in this is so small that it's just not even worthwhile. The only difference is you would escape with Andreas in the escape pod and then go back in with Joanne and unlock everybody, which is kind of the route that Ace does already. Okay. So we're going to grab this stuff. So you want to buy this stuff right off the start because it'll get you the mobility upgrades. So like I said, you want to get these hacks. Normally you only need 2, unless you're like, you're just starting and you're really bad and you go super slow. Or you're like me and you're just taking a long time for no real reason. So you're gonna want to go ahead and buy that. Otherwise, once you've bought hack 2, just start going for the mobility upgrades. If you have any left, you can save them for Andreas, but just dump them in something. It's one of the objectives to get so many. With the things that I'm always buying, you'll get about 35 roughly, and when you get to the end of the game, it's pretty easy to get the last 15 if you need it. So don't really worry about if you have 1 or 2 neuromods on a character and you don't spend them. It's not super important. So I'm gonna get this. I'm going to go ahead and bind this stuff. So from here, we're going to clip out. Chair should still be up here from when we clipped out earlier. We're going to drop down at this pointy rock. You won't always have the fog. It just kind of becomes a thing at this point in the game. So it makes it a little hard to tell where the stuff is. In fact, I think I'm on it. But if you can't see it, just look for the rock and just kind of, as you're doing the slides, get used to what it looks like. You should be okay. So if you get something like this where you stop, you just run around. Sometimes you'll even get thrown back in, but you can just use your EMP to get past the first gate. And if you're really bad with slides or that's happening a lot, just bring in a couple extra control modules, because if you get the crater escape pod, you kind of need 2 EMP things. What causes the fog? It's a variable that triggers with story, like the simulation at this point. I get it a lot on Andreas too, which is like the next part also. I got too much speed there. So once we're over here, there we go. Yes, I was just on the roof. If that happens, we're over top of it, just back up and you'll fall down. You'll be fine. Typically, you always need one form of EMP, usually the control module for escaping the pod. There's a Typhon gate right in front of the escape pod. But like I said, if you have the crater one, you'll need two, which is why we bring two control modules. Generally, the tram's not down here. It's kind of rare, but it is. I think usually I get that cutscene at Andreas, which is why I get the fog there.
Warning. Lethal radiation levels detected.
Which if it's down, you can go repair it. It really only affects MOONWORKS if you have that escape pod. If you have the Pythias escape pod, you're just right there by the tunnel anyways and can run out. If it's the crater, you're going outside. If it's Pythias Labs, you can repair the tram there and go. But then you're gonna have that EMP problem. So I guess bring 3 if you really want to. Or if you get that cutscene there, bring 3. I guess is the way to do it. I don't know. So we're just gonna run through. You always restore power. Some part doesn't have it. Generally, like when you go through a cutscene and like a tram outage happens, I do go repair it, unless it's certain circumstances. Because generally you'll need to travel with that character or the one after. Generally you don't get cutscenes after each character. It's usually after each 2. But I'm taking a long time, so I've done a lot of the orders that you kind of complete during these parts. Like the fabrication and the chip. Those are things you usually get done later on in the run. We're just gonna go ahead and hack this. So just get good at hacking. I'll have to do this 3 times because it's hack 3. Generally you're gonna be hack 2 here, so you'll do this twice. You'll be done with it. Ooh, this is sketchy. Okay. So if you have the Pythias escape pod, you'd go here and run your way up. All the escape pod rooms are the same. I need to go check which one I have. I think it's MOONWORKS is the one that's down for me, but I need to double check. So you'll just run up through the escape pod area and then yeah, okay. So we have MOONWORKS. We're gonna have to run through the crate. Wait, do I? No, I take the tram. Okay. So if the crater, you just go back out the way you came in, run a little to the right to the crater exit. If you've played this game casually, you probably know where it is. EMP the first gate, run through. EMP the second Typhon gate, and you're done. Restoring power to the bases. Restoring power to the bases is always in the middle of the crater. It's the big, I don't know, power station is what I call it. And that will only go out like once a simulation. So that's why I come in earlier with Riley, because I repair the power then. And then when I come in the next time, I'll repair it with Riley. The cutscenes usually only affect the tram power and not the facility power.
Attention, everyone. We have an extra special message today from our CEO.
This is Alex Yu, CEO of TranStar and co-director of research aboard Talisman.
Gonna go this way.
As I sit here, comfortably aboard the greatest technological marvel humanity has ever achieved, I recognize that this station.
So if you have the MOONWORKS escape, and you didn't have to look for an anti-rad back here at some point, that's okay. Usually you won't have to. You won't need the key. Claire will just unlock it. She's the custodian. She has like access to every room. So you're just gonna go up. So all these are the same, so you just want to go up on the right here. I think the Typhon gates are on different sides depending on which one it is, but either use your EMP or open control module. And make sure you did not forget to bring the chip, otherwise you will not be able to exit. You can drop stuff
Material detected.
just at this point for Andreas. He really doesn't need anything. If you have neuromods, you can drop them. I've started to drop my extra control modules and pistols, just in case he happens on the slide to clip back in bounds. It stops it from being a reset or an Alt F4. So I'm just gonna do that. I'm gonna drop my EMP too. Really, I just need the EMP stuff, but so generally you won't have those. Just place the chip and launch. I wait before I hit the launch for the door to close, otherwise it'll bring up the red error. It's kind of annoying to deal with. Yeah. So that's for the 5 escapes for the simulation. This is usually when I get that cutscene, so at this point, you'd sit through it and then come back in. And I said, you don't need anything. If you have a propulsion system, I think I had one for Claire as well. Just go ahead and buy that. If not, then it doesn't really matter. You don't need to buy anything else at this point. If you have propulsion system and the chipset, buy the chipset as well. I've never had a run have both, so it's not something you usually have to worry about. It's just one of those, if you have it, use it. At this point, it's going to be pretty identical to Claire's start. We're just going to clip out, do the same slide over the Pythias, go to the portal room, and use the portal to escape.
Warning. Due to a
Hazardous atmosphere.
That stuff, if you need it.
gas storm conditions. Please secure a breathing apparatus and remain indoors until the issue is resolved.
Drop down. Boost my way over. That's it. I'm not really going to look for the setup. I'm just going to assume this is pretty close. Which it wasn't. If you don't go that far, sometimes you'll just hit that rock or something. You can come back and try it again. If you have a propulsion system and something like that's happening, you can boost to pretty much stop your slide instantly. Which is great if you're going too far into the void or you think you're about to break your legs. Just boost. Once again, just run over here. Boost if you have it. If you manage to clip in there, and you've brought control modules or something, you can just EMP the gate, run your way through.
Warning. Lethal radiation levels detected.
Jump through the window. Work your way back here. You really don't need to kill anything. You should be getting through this really fast. So when you do this, open the gate and go ahead and stabilize it. Then you're gonna wait until it changes into the big purple disc and then go into it. You can do it a little earlier than that, but I didn't want to showcase what it looked like. As soon as it starts changing, you can pretty much go through it. So the sim's gonna automatically reset since you've escaped with all 5 characters. Met that KASMA order. At this point, you want to go back in with Riley. You might get a cutscene for that. Probably not. Actually, I think I do. So yeah, some stuff can change here, but I'm gonna do it like it usually would. So once again, I'm gonna bring a pistol. You don't need too much ammo for this one, but I usually just bring 2 stacks out of habit. And then you want to bring another 6 control modules. And then propulsion system if you have it. She's going to get one anyways, again. So if you have the chipset, go ahead and bring it, even if you don't have the propulsion system in the inventory. You don't need any neuromods or anything like that, so just go ahead and go in. Since we've done all of the escapes for the characters, we're just going back and finishing up the stories. So these are very quick, and we don't need to do any escape methods with these characters. Andreas, you sort of do for a story. It's kind of weird. But for Riley, Joanne, and Claire, we're going to do their story, and then we're going to go to the area which the next character's story starts, and then die. That way we respawn there. It'll make sense in a second. So get the key card, open the door. Make your way through this. You can go ahead and check where the outage is. Career Annex is the best. That's where you need to end up. If it's in Pythias Labs or Moonworks, you're gonna have to go repair the tram and take it to Career Annex. So we got pretty lucky here. It's 33% chance. You can kind of get away with it if it's in Pythias Labs. You can not repair it, but if it's Moonworks, you need to definitely go do it. Actually, Pythias Labs don't go for it all. It's you can skip that one for now. So if it's Career Annex, just head straight into Career Annex, and if it's Moonworks, you'll have to go repair it. I'll show a little thing you'll have to do here as well, which will get you into the areas. So once again, the power's probably down in an area. It's not necessarily down, but you want to just come check it anyways. Just kind of poke your head around the corner. If you see orange, run down there and repair it. If not, just go upstairs. Repair that. And then head upstairs. So you're always gonna grab onto this.
Hey, Riley.
Okay.
It's
so at this point, you unlock this EMP capability.
You're new, aren't you?
So, because you don't ever need to go into Pythias Labs.
Your shuttle arrived on December 3rd, a transfer from our North office. Before that, you worked as an adjunct on various
Pythias Labs.
projects.
Put modules in here
you to
and pull the
address me in
switch.
such a familiar
That's what I'll do in a second.
Didn't
if the tram's down in
Madam
Moonworks,
Director or Dr. Yu. Choose one.
Wait for this to end.
Yes, Director Yu. Please forgive me.
Now,
oh my God.
What do you have for me?
I just wanted to report that the crater
how
towers
long
are
this
ready
goes
for a
on?
full-scale test.
Did you solve the power supply?
Yes.
Right.
Well, nearly so. The control modules burn out after each activation, but the results are positive. All the Typhon in the vicinity are completely destroyed, all at once.
What about human subjects with Typhon-based neuromods?
We ran several tests on P.
Okay, I can just do that. So if the power outage is down in Moonworks, you want to put your control modules in here.
Once the subject had...
And then pull the lever and run for that. That will kill the Typhon in the area and EMP the gate. So you won't have to drop a control module to get into the area. You can just run straight for the door trigger. And then run through to the tram, repair it, and take it to Career Annex.
More than a few
otherwise, you wouldn't do what I do.
Installed, they were destroyed.
Go this
Same
way.
as the Typhon.
Good work, Dr. Benson. I want to activate the towers myself.
So you'll
for
see the
full-scale
effect happen.
test.
Yes, Madam Director. I believe Dr. Boyle is on her way right now with the control.
Don't worry about the status. It's temporary. It'll just go away in a second. Also, hey, Crystal. Thank you. I got a record of my run, so I don't really need luck at the moment, but thank you.
Modules. That's strange. Dr. Boyle?
Yeah, this should be open. You've done that. Oh, now they stopped talking. Great. Okay. So once you've made it into Crew Annex, you're going to want to store your stuff for the next character, and then die. Which is a little different depending if you've taken the tram in. If you've done that, run straight ahead into the wall opposite the tram. Don't do it in the tunnel. Otherwise, you're going to have a phantom next to the tram, and you won't be able to get past them when you go up there later.
This is
so you want to drop your stuff. If you want to. The only things you really need are the pistol. Neuromods, if you found them, they're pretty rare here. The control modules are nice. They're just not necessary. So mainly just a pistol.
Placeholder.
And then here, when you die, jump in this little gap. I think by default it's P to bring up the status menu, and then hit delete, which will bring up the abort and set enter. So dying in this corner will put your body underneath, and when the phantom spawns, it'll be underneath there, and he won't be in your way. Yeah. Normally, I think I get this cutscene earlier, or I get it after. So this is going to break the tram system again. So if this happens, I want to say it's going to keep, because I haven't repaired the tram, it's going to keep it in the same area, but we'll figure it out in a second.
Basilisk to Module 13. I'm just checking the oxygen levels since the impact.
Actually, I think I usually get this after
diagnostic on the
Joanne.
scrubbers?
Yeah. For this one, you do have to interact with this panel.
I'm powering it up now. It's self-explanatory. Basilisk out.
You have to hit OK a lot. Just wait for it to go. Yeah. Generally, in my route, this cutscene happens after the next character. So we'll just see what changes, but really shouldn't be too different. So you hit OK a couple times, and then you just wait by the chair. I'm gonna go back in with Joanne this time. If you didn't drop a pistol with Riley into the companion, you can take it now, buy some more ammo. You can, if you don't already have electrostatic, the Typhon ability, you can buy 3 neuromods here and get it. It's not necessary. It's not really going to do too much. And you can bring some more control modules if you really feel like you need it. Generally, you should have... Well, I guess if you fix the tram, you might not have 2 control modules, so just bring an extra 2 for safekeeping, I guess. That's what I'm going to do. As I can. I also don't know if the tram's going to be down somewhere. Sketchy. So generally you are going to spawn in crew ANNEX because you died there with Riley, but if you've gotten the cutscene like I have, this should take me back to the crater start room, which is really unfortunate. But you always spawn at the crater side of crew ANNEX, so down where I died with Riley. Even if you die by the tram station, you're going to spawn down by Riley. So, yeah, if this does happen, you can just clip out with the chair. Run over. Not a big deal. Is it gonna fall over? Yep. All these just roll a little too much. That might stay up there. I'm gonna assume it does. Okay. So because I have propulsion, I'm just gonna run over. So just kind of hold left there and you're good. Even if you don't have propulsion, it might be faster just to run over. You can do that slide and try to stop short. If you try to stop short, just hold back as much as you can. That's going to slow you down. Sometimes you'll still go a little bit too far and you can run over or whatever, but if you're not feeling like risking it, just run. Grab that. Okay. So whether you got the cutscene or not, you should end up at some point with Joanne at this point. She's going to be down here and the rat's going to be the same.
Placeholder.
Grab the stuff. The body's down there now. And the Phantom should be too. I don't feel like looking for it. At this point, we're gonna head up.
Tick-tock.
You don't need to kill these, but they just kind of annoy me, so I do it anyways. Okay. I head upstairs. These I would recommend killing, just because they'll kind of chase after you. And sometimes this door's broken, but you should have the spare parts because you're Joanne and you start with 6 to go ahead and repair it. If it's fully locked, you can check this door, and if you still can't get into this, for whatever reason, I have seen both, like ones, they're like both locked. It's super rare. You can come down here, and this is really annoying to do. Usually you need mobility 2 to make this, but you're gonna use your summon turret ability. Jump on this bench, and somehow get this up here. It's not fun to do, but then you want to deploy it. Once it's deployed, let's see if I can do this. You want, I think you can do it without it deployed, but it helps make sure you won't knock it off. You want to just do a little jump there and come through the vent. But you'll almost never have to actually do that in a run. You will do it with Claire later on, possibly. But with Joanne, it's almost never a thing you have to do. So just activate the memory marker. If there's a chipset or neuromods here, you can grab them. Grab these. Then you want to take things out of this chest and pick it up. Even if it's stuff you don't need, just go ahead and take it out. It'll save you a headache. This is also really annoying to do. Essentially, you're going to clip out like we do with the chair or the stool. There's not a great setup for this. The one I've kind of been working with is to use this ledge to tilt it, then like crouch jump on top of it. You can also put it against this corner, run into it, which is lucky enough to clip me out. And if you clip up and you get stuck, you can potentially drop medkits. Medkits are the best because they're just an easy thing to drop. You can drop your control modules. I'd still recommend having 2. You can come back and grab them later, but the tram can be down, so be careful with dropping control modules, but you can do those. And neuromods in at least 2, like stacks of 2. If you drop 1, it'll just drop the object. 2 will drop a box. They're a lot smaller, so if you don't have medkits or control modules, use these. But once you're here, look for this corner, this red corner. You should also see the shuttle potentially, so it's that one. You want to kind of hug the corner, face into it on this side, and then you're going to walk back. You can also make a save and exit in case you mess up. Here, let me just do that. This method's pretty easy. It prevents you from breaking your legs and should work pretty much 100% of the time. But you want to walk back until you start falling and then hold forward. And then you're gonna do that one more time to drop all the way down. You're gonna drop once, hold forward. Drop once and hold forward. You should land here. Turn 180. And drop down to the right. So once you've dropped to the right, you'll see this like pile of debris kind of floating. You want to run and stand right on top of that. And then from here, kind of face the shuttle and then sprint and jump forward. You'll either climb or just jump straight up here. Just the room you want to be. If you don't see this, just crouch and find this little beam. Walk back, but at this point you want to uncrouch so you're standing up and then just walk back until you fall and then hold forward again. Eventually you should land. And then from here, you just jump and hold right. And you should climb in. Also look forward like I did there. Grab the bird statue and the note. I don't know if you need the note, but at least just grab it. It's there. Unlock the room. And we're gonna head up to the tram station. If for whatever reason your MOONWORKS is down, or your tram's down, and you didn't fix it earlier, or it went down randomly here, you're gonna have to run out through the crater and back in through MOONWORKS. Otherwise, just run up.
Attention, everyone. We have an extra special message today from our CEO.
This is Alex, CEO of Transtar and co-director.
You ignore all the spawns.
As I sit here, comfortably aboard the greatest
So this is why you don't want to drop too many control modules and not get them back.
I recognize that this
I totally haven't done it on a run before.
Without the sustaining efforts of
Totally didn't happen the other night. Once again, you can kind of just check
our helium-3 refinery alone is the lifeblood of this company.
some of the storage
Not to mention
for stuff
exciting R&D
if you want to.
taking place down there.
So head to MOONWORKS. Like I said, if you have to run through the crater because your MOONWORKS is down, just run straight to the tram station. That's where you need to be. That's where the story for Joanne finishes.
Warning, fire hazards detected.
So you're going to add the sculpture piece. And then you want to go ahead and store your stuff. So any neuromods, pistol. You really don't need anything besides like neuromods at this point. Control modules can help for EMP stuff. You really don't need them too much. And then you want to jump, grab that if you want, down in this pit. Once again, bring up your status menu, either hitting P or whatever your key is, or just going into the inventory, then clicking status and aborting the run, which is down here. At this point, come back in with Claire. You're gonna want to get a total of 4 control modules. So I already have 2 in there. I'm gonna bring 2 more. And this is generally when I'll check my progress for whether I'm down on fabrication plans, chipsets, and just to see how many neuromods I still need. So I need a total of 18, which is quite a bit. Usually you end up at like 35. We should be able to make it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and buy as many neuromods as possible here. You only need a couple things for Andreas, and you can just kind of leave those behind and you'll have more points after this. So once you have your control modules and your pistol, if you didn't leave one behind earlier, some way to destroy them. Just buy neuromods at this point. And if through checking all those ship spawns and fabrication spawns, you still don't have enough, if you get duplicates, they don't count towards that goal. You need 10 unique ones. Can I grab my stuff? This guy's is one to take off.
Right away.
So this is a little different. Generally, you'll start at the crater, like the main room in the crater, where a lot of the other ones have started. If that happens because you got the cutscene before this, you'll just run. You won't clip out. You'll run through. You'll EMP the gate, and you'll come into Moonworks that way, because it's going to be faster to run through than to clip out. And there's also a possibility that you won't be able to clip back in at this point for some reason. It's really weird. Like I said, I just recommend running through and EMPing the gate, which is why you bring control modules anyways. So either way, you come in through this way. We rebind some of the stuff, and we just need to head to the memory marker. And if you, like I said, if you haven't found the chipsets and stuff, I'll show you some last-ditch places you can check along the way. Just run through. I didn't buy a propulsion system, did I? So if you're smart and you have a propulsion system, you can just go across. Otherwise, I recommend taking this path. Some routing stuff there. Don't worry about the key card, you'll have it. I'm gonna go ahead and use my mobility 2. It's the one I recommend. Like I said, at this point, you don't need any power-ups with Andreas, and if you already have mobility 2, you don't need anything else, so just start putting it into random perks just to fill it up. I recommend the highest mods. Like this one needs 8, so I'll put it in here first, and then do a 2 to fill up the 10. That's just optimizing how many clicks you have to do. Some simple math there. So grab the memory marker. And on the way out, grab the transponder. So at this point, you'll want to check your tram. Like I said, usually in my run, I get the cutscene before this, so that's when the tram changes to being down somewhere. If you have the tram down in Pythias or Moonworks, head to the Moonworks tram station. If the tram outage is in crew ANNEX, you want to run into the crater, go to the power station, and I'll show this later because we'll have to go there anyways. You want to go above the recycler and grab the quest item there. Like I said, I'll show that later in case you do have to run through that part and then into crew ANNEX. So if it's down there, you have to do it backwards. It still works out to be about the same time-wise. It's just a little different. So because all my stuff's fine, I'm just going to go the crew ANNEX or the Moonworks way. So like I say, if it's Moonworks or Pythias Labs, you're going to go this route.
There is elevated activity
so more than likely, you're going to take this route.
We think you've been compromised. We need you to destroy all evidence
you can
of
come
your
up here and
operations.
check.
I'll contact
this
you
chest.
soon with further instructions.
Check for this chipset.
Basilisk out.
If you need fabrication plans, check these drawers or these cabinets. Give me this neuromod. You can also check in here. I think sometimes there's a chipset down there, a fabrication plan there. You should have grabbed this on the last one or something, that chipset. If not, you can grab it there. And then we're gonna go to crew ANNEX. And I do have all this stuff, like the different routes written out in a text document that I'll post some link when I make this into a video. So if you want some quick references of just like, all right, this happened, I need to go here, or I need to do this route, you can just have that open during the run. That's what I do. I have fully extended notes where I kind of describe everything I say, and then I have like abridged versions where it's very brief, kind of shorthand notes. If you don't feel like reading too much. So if you're coming this way with Claire, you want to do this jump for mobility 2. If you don't have mobility 2 at this point, or you're coming in from the crater side, you can just run up the stairs and get into this room. There can also be a chipset and some neuromods on this desk, and in this safe, but you need to hack the safe anyways. And this will almost always be on corruption 2 at this point, so you have to do 2 hacks. You'll need hack 2, obviously. Unless you go really slow and you need 3, but yeah. Let's go and loot that stuff and leave through the store.
Yes.
If the door is broken, go through the tunnel drop down, or go all the way through into the next room and come out here.
Come in.
Just make your way down here.
The AIL, is that right?
Yes, sir. That's right.
You must be rid of him.
I am.
So if you come, once again, this is kind of the 2 different routes. If you went to the power station crater and then you came in the crew annex, because the crew annex tram's down, at that point, when you hack that safe, you go to the tram and you take that to Pythes Labs.
Maybe we can find a place for him on the
and I'll show where everything gets
put together. I'm sure he'd be honored. Was there something you needed?
Straight to...
You can potentially go through this door if it's unlocked and you feel like going around, but I have control modules to EMP through that. So I just skip it.
What would you make of this?
This is... It's a surveillance device.
Also, if you went to the power station in the crater and then into crew annex, once you get the thing out of the safe, you want to go down the elevator first into that recycling room, and you want to recycle all the devices and then go to the tram station. That's very important to do because you need to destroy those.
It's one of ours. Did you get this from
If you happen to have a recycling charge, you can bring that and use that instead. I usually don't even care if I have recycling charges. I just kind of default to running to the recycling rooms. If you're going the way I'm going now, we'll just recycle in the power station and be done from there. So once again, you should probably have mobility too at this point. You can just jump up here. I think even without it, you can kind of do some maneuver off these, but you can just jump up. Get there. So jump above the recycler and grab the device. There's chips, neuromods, and stuff in this briefcase sometimes.
Am I that obvious?
So you can do a quick transfer junk if you just like hold your transfer key, and I'll put all the transponders in there. You don't have to click them one by one.
Don't worry, we're safe up here.
And you can recycle and put away. If you still don't have chips, you're still missing some, you can check out here.
All right,
check on this body.
We've learned that Director Yu is planning to duplicate her personality onto an operator using TranStar's emulation tech. OC is fairly certain she'll launch the operator as an emergency measure afterwards. We need you to hide your command key on that operator.
So once again, if you're down on chips, just to talk over this, you can check this gold chest, and if you really need to, I'll show it here in a second. You can go down into the basement, but
your key has a few programs that will hijack
that's
the
a
emulation
really slow one to get.
And
so
make
you can
the
check here.
Terminal.
Just open this.
It'll look like an accident. And then, when the operator launches, we'll scoop it up. We're still working on an exit strategy for you. I'm sorry. Everyone is scrambling up here. We've lost
so you
contact
can get a fabrication
with our
plan right here, and then sometimes
and
here, like this, there'll be a chipset right there. You can check. You can also get this med kit. Need it. I think technically, sometimes this room will be open, and you can get stuff out of there, but I don't even bother checking it. It's almost never open. Or it's like a broken door or something. It's just not worth it. Alright. So in the Pythes, at this point, whether you had to go in through the tram, because you did the backwards route, or you're coming in this way, you just want to go to Riley's office. There's no special thing you gotta do. If you come in through this way, you can unlock Andreas' like cell. His cell. So the little time saver doesn't really do a whole lot though. So once you jump up in this window, open this, cell 5 and hit unlock.
Up to and including
So you can do that with
termination.
Andreas when you come in, so it's not a big deal. It's a little thing as you're running through you can do. At this point, you can run up. So if there's stairs there, you can take those. I think with mobility 2, this is faster just because you can jump up straight away. Once again, check those for chipsets and fabrication plans. You can check the desk. Look at neuromods there if you still need them. You can check this desk back here for this chipset. And then you want to put this key into the device. From here, all you want to do is run to the tram station and take it to either one. It doesn't matter, MOONWORKS or ANNEX, because what you're going to do is you're going to go into that area and then come right back in the Pythes labs. So do that. Also, at this point, there's going to be a lot of operators that will try to kill you. Just don't die. It's kind of rough sometimes. If you're going to drop off here and you don't have a propulsion system, which will kind of cancel fall damage, you want to land on this.
OC is.
That'll stop you from taking damage.
They can't dedicate any assets for dust off, and there's just nothing I can do. I'm sorry.
If you have status effects, it's very hard to make it out of this. It's a very dangerous area. So just go either way. If you still haven't picked up that chipset in MOONWORKS, like next to the statue, like behind the lockers, you can go there and get it now. But usually you've already picked it up at this point, so you can keep that in mind. So like I said, just go back. At this point, we're going to drop stuff off for Andreas. He doesn't need a whole lot once again, but it doesn't hurt. So we're going to run forward to this wall. It just kind of keeps the phantom that will spawn from her body out of the way. There's not really a good spot to dump yourself, like there is for ANNEX or for MOONWORKS. But once you do Andrew's story, Typhon become friendly anyways, so it's not really a big deal. You just don't want him in there, so you can't run past him. So I'm gonna drop these. You will need an EMP to get to the very end of Andrew's story, so you're gonna need at least one control module. But you can always buy one if you don't have extras here. So extra neuromods and pistol stuff. You really don't need health or anything, so just go ahead and hit the wrong button. Okay. Go ahead and die. I have tried going in the vent where you can find Angela's body and dying there, but for whatever reason the phantom will sometimes just wander back out to the tram station, so it's just kind of a waste of time. So here, the most important thing, besides taking the escape pod navigation chip with Claire earlier, is buying the psychoscope here. If you don't buy this, you are wasting a lot of time. So make sure you bring this. Super important. So like I said, if you don't have control modules for that one EMP, go ahead and bring it. I recommend having 3 altogether. 3 modules, at least 2 modules and 1 EMP, because sometimes when you go to use the tram, the phantom that spawns or a mimic in the area will be voltaic, and they'll destroy the control modules by the tram for just no reason. So I'm going to take an extra one, so I have 3. Take the propulsion system because I have it. And just stock up on neuromods if you still need them. You do get another 3 in there. You can potentially get another 3 if you're really, really low, but you just definitely shouldn't be that low. But if you are for whatever reason, when you go up with Claire to Riley's office, you can hack into Riley's terminal on the first floor, or like the downstairs of her office, and open up the escape, or the cell number 3, I think it is, which will have another 3 neuromods in it. You shouldn't ever need to do that, but I guess if you're really, really bad and didn't buy stuff earlier, you're gonna have to do that. So, the only orders we should have left potentially are the volunteer, the psychoscope scans, which we'll get here, the neuromods, which we'll finish off. If you're still low on these, you're gonna have a real tough time finding them. But there's still a couple places you can check. You pretty much just want to get these like completely finished with Claire if you can. That's why I check when I come in with Claire. I check to see if these are met or not, and really make sure to finish it there.
Downloading.
Did I get all my stuff from him? Okay, I did. Let's go ahead and spam this stuff. I use the Typhon abilities because they're higher numbers. Once again, simple math, just less clicks. I only needed, I think, 2, but that works. I cannot move. It's a great game. My character is literally frozen. What? Okay. Well, let me close it. That's great. I couldn't even open up the inventory. All I could do is hit escape. What a good video game. Yep. Don't buy things too quickly. I have had, when I bought stuff with Joanne before, on our first run through, I wasn't able to reverse engineer the control module because I just bought stuff too fast. So take a little time with your stuff. And once again, if you get the cutscene after Claire's death and you start with Andreas in the crater, clip out, slide the Pythie slabs, and you're good to go. It's a pretty simple start there. Oh, also, dying for whatever reason doesn't give you a checkpoint.
Oops.
So keep that in mind. So I'm gonna have to store this stuff and die again.
Interesting.
We'll just do Andrews again. That's fine. Yeah, I mean, you can still spam the buying of Typhon abilities, but you just don't want to do it too fast. Once again, don't forget the psychoscope. Make sure you have 3 of these in there, and then finish up your neuromods. Yo, Saint, thanks for those, man. Alright. So if you start at the crater, just clip out and slide over the Pythie slabs. I've done it plenty of times. Do it again. Okay. Now I can use my stuff. I just want my gun out. Okay. So, like I said, if you didn't do this, if you had to do the reverse route and came in by the tram, go ahead and unlock cell number 5 there. Get down this way. The gate's locked, just use the button to open it.
Typhon material detected. No Typhon.
If you need neuromods, there's 3 right here. But just go ahead and get through this weird cutscene.
Papa? Papa. It's me. Alexei. We can be together again. But you have to do what I say. It's very important. Okay, Papa? There's something you have to do for me. For us. So we can be together. It's what you want.
It's what I want?
You have to find my toy. You missed my birthday. Missed so many. I think about you and my toy all the time. Remember, it's what you want. Find my toy.
No Typhon detected.
Okay. I actually lied. You probably want to bring in 4 control modules, potentially. Like I said, 2 are for tram in case they happen to go down due to voltaic enemies. So they're kind of just safety anyways. But if you only brought in 3 and you don't feel like EMPing this Typhon gate, you can use this control panel. I'm just going to do it although it's open, which will take you into the bathroom. But yeah, just bring in 4 and EMP that gate if it's not already down. So at this point, Typhon are your friends. You don't want to kill them, otherwise you will fail the mission. But you do need to get 3 scans at some point. So if you see a Typhon, there's not operators around trying to kill you, go ahead and scan them. You can get 1 or 2 easy ones at the very end by the escape pod, but I recommend just doing it as you go. At this point, you should need 3. I'm just gonna get 1 here.
Scan complete. New psionic aptitude available.
So like here, I'm not gonna try to scan because these operators will just destroy me. Just gonna run. At this point, you want to make your way to the tram station as well. Here's another spot that has a good amount of Typhon, but usually operators, so I just run past it. I don't even try to do it here. And generally, you can scan your own Phantom. That's a good one to get. Like I said, they usually don't attack you. It just keeps them out of the way if you die over there. So I didn't double check which one okay. So it can be either ANNEX or MOONWORKS. I guess I'll show the spawns for them, since corruption won't matter. You will also instantly jump up to corruption level 4. Just be aware. It's not really a big deal at this point, but it happens. I don't remember. Okay, so we got this one. The bad thing about the toy is when you get close to it, the marker will disappear, and you still have to kind of find it. Usually at the tram stations, there's a little battle going on, so be careful. Also, a lot of times there'll be like voltaic or the fire Typhon, so I don't even bother scanning those either. Nope, I don't want the glue turret. Nope. I want the technopath.
Research complete.
If you scan the like operators and stuff, it won't count towards your goal. It has to be a Typhon.
Scan complete.
You're scanning.
New psionic aptitude available.
So this toy is up here in the tower. Also, they broke my gun. That's cool. This is a kind of a tricky one to get if you haven't seen it before. You want to jump on top of this fridge and then up here. You can also find supplies there. Once again, if you don't already have your chipset. Do corrupted operators count? No, it has to be a Typhon. But yeah, the toy's gonna be back in that corner.
Take it to the spaceships.
So let me try to see if I can remember.
It's what you want.
The other other toy spawns here. Usually a lot of operators in this area, so it's a little risky. You can get a toy spawn right about here. I think there's one more in this area. Usually those are the 2 I get, either up there or there. I think there's one in this area. I think there might be one over here as well. Like I said, you'll have a marker for the toy. So you'll just get in the area and then you'll have to find it. Make sure you scan these from a distance so they don't hurt you.
Scan complete.
Alright, so I have my 5.
Psionic aptitude available.
Get some free health. Usually the toy for me is in MOONWORKS, so I'm more familiar with those spawns. I'm not sure how many spawns there are in each. I think there might be 3. Yeah, let's go do Moon. I know where 2 are in MOONWORKS. I don't. Maybe I know of a 3rd. I usually get the same spawns for these, so I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, average spot's not something I found casually. Took me forever to find it. Okay, so MOONWORKS, you have another fight here. Once again, just avoid it. I'm gonna try to find a new gun, because this one's broken. A really quick toy spawn. This is like the best one to get. Work your way down here, and it's going to be right in this corner, right about here. It's the best one you can get. And the other one, it's on the other side of this Typhon gate. So if you have an extra EMP, you can go ahead and EMP it. Or you can just run up here. Which, once again, if you're low on chipsets or fabrication plans, you can check this briefcase. And you can also check the golden chests down by the mass driver escape, which we've checked before. It's a good spot. So I think the toy... Okay. I think the toy can spawn up here. Don't hold me to that. I think it can. But I know one spawn is in this cage. It'll spawn somewhere in this general vicinity. I think it can also spawn up there, and I believe one more spawn. You'll have a marker, so you'll know the general area. Is back where this phantom spawn is that I showed earlier. I'm not entirely sure on this one. I think that's gonna kill me. I think it can be back here somewhere, either like right next to that or over here. I believe. I'm not entirely sure on that. Get the fuck out of here. And once you have the toy, just head back to Pythes Labs. Should really buy this? Yeah, you should. It's a great game. Like, if you like Prey casually, or even if you decide it's like, like this game is better than the base game. Takes the gameplay and just amplifies it. Oh, snap. You do keep replaying the same level, but even casually, there's rooms I entirely missed. Like at the bottom of Pythes Labs in the basement, there is a recycling and fabrication, like, weapons room, and I completely missed it in my casual playthrough. I just never saw it. I ran around it a ton of times.
Attention, everyone. We have a special announcement
So
from our head of security.
it's not like it's a small, easy map to remember. Okay.
Head of security.
So we're gonna head back to the basement
Take a
at
second
this
to
point.
call out this month's security commendation.
Vital signs critical.
Casey Fletcher for outstanding service. Be sure.
Like BioShock met Dishonored. Well, I mean, it's made by the Dishonored devs, Arcane Studios, and it definitely has the System Shock vibe. It's essentially just what it went for, System Shock, which is predecessor to BioShock. So you're pretty close with that. So if they've killed off the operators, once again, you can just get your spawns here if needed. Full take, so I'm gonna try not to die. Full take are just annoying. You can kill 1 or 2 Typhon if you absolutely need to. Like, I could have killed that guy there. You just don't want to start killing too many. Because it'll end your quests. You'll have to come back in. Do not new game. What do you mean Mooncrash is absolutely not necessary? I think it is absolutely necessary.
Good afternoon, Pythias.
Alright, let's get this
Just
again.
a reminder that extra supplies are kept in the storage room just off the main lobby.
A little better that time. Because of Claire's story and spawning in the operators and bumping up to corruption level 4, it's a little rough to get through these areas. I'm just making excuses of why I died. Kinda just waiting to see if they'll walk away. Trying not to kill someone. Also, I think if you attack them, they won't attack you back because they're friendly.
Stop!
So, yeah.
No hurting.
Kill one, it's not a big deal. Also medkit. That's almost always a medkit, I feel like.
Warning.
So once again, you'll usually have a technopath or a nightmare. You'll have something here to scan if you haven't found all your Typhon scans so far. At this point, you should have every objective met except for volunteer story objective, which is what we're completing now.
So close.
So EMP your way past this. You don't need to store anything with the operator because this is the last one you're going to do. Will Nightmare be friendly too? Yes, it should be. Everything should be friendly here. So you don't need a navigation chip for this one because it's part of the story. So just close the door. Wait a second and hit that.
Oh, Papa. I'm going to be so happy with my toy.
Wait for this really weird cutscene to end. And then there's one thing left to do. And then you're done with the run.
You, Papa.
Don't worry that you die. And you technically fail the escape. So we've already done his escape once. We just need to make sure the story mission is done, which it is. This cutscene will pull you out. You don't need to worry about that. So here, you want to try to go fast. If you don't get this jump, then you just wait for the gravity to kick, I guess, kick off, and you can float up. But make sure you grab the key from the operator, and you can climb on top of this, jump on top of the monitors, and hold, like, left and forward. Then you're gonna go right, and as you drop off, like, hold forward and jump, so you get up here. So if you just wait, you can't get the jump. The gravity will go away and you can float up. Just put in the key, hit orbital, maneuvers, decommission, and just keep hitting OK.
And send your completion bonus to your family.
And you'll have to hit OK a couple more times.
We'll make it quick.
Microgravity detected.
Yeah. Once you get this, you're done, and then hit time when it fades to black there. Or I guess when it cuts to black. And that's how you run Mooncrash. And you get the final cutscene, which is pretty cool. So I want to make this a video and put it on YouTube. I just export it. I'll have the extended and the abridged notes linked somewhere. So if you just want shorthand to keep up while you do your run, they'll be available. And questions, people can just ask me on Twitter or Twitch or YouTube. YouTube I probably won't see. I don't check the comments too much these days because they're pretty awful. But Twitter, Discord, Twitch, I'm pretty much open to ask questions there. I think I did a pretty extensive job on that. It's kind of hard to show off when the cutscenes happen in different places because obviously I'd just have to do the game again. And you will have to do kind of on-the-fly routing based on stuff. There's a lot of possibilities. So they're not really run killers, it keeps you thinking, and you have to buy extra stuff or buy less stuff depending on what you had before and what you find. If you're anti-rads early or later. Do you think they were done with Dishonored Universe or just Corvo Emily? Well, they said Death of the Outsider was the last in the series, so I think they're done with it. I'd love to see more. but I don't know. Seems like they kind of wrapped up the story they wanted to tell, which I'm fine with. I think it's better if they wrap it up and leave it on a high note rather than stretch it out and make it worse. Alright. This last little cutscene. This is why you always waterboard your doll. You can't trust it. It could be a mimic. You just don't know. Alright, I'm gonna wrap up my stream there. And then tomorrow I'm going to try